She didn't just hesitate at the altar, she pulled her hand away like the ring physically burned her, and in that split second you could see it all over his face. The 90-day fairy tale was already over. The guests thought it was nerves. The officiant tried to laugh it off. TLC's cameras zoomed in for that classic slow-motion gasp. But if you've watched this franchise long enough, you know that look. That wasn't cold feet. That was someone realizing, way too late, that the K1 visa clock had been ticking toward a lie.
This wedding was supposed to be the redemption arc. After airport tears, awkward family dinners, and those painfully scripted, "Is this a scam?" confessionals, we were promised a beautiful ceremony where love wins. Instead, what unfolded felt like the exact moment the 90-day dream quietly fell apart. I know what you're thinking, haven't we seen dramatic weddings before? Of course we have. We've watched cake fights, runaway brides, visa meltdowns, and in-law explosions that made Thanksgiving look peaceful. But this one hit different. Because this wasn't just about two people arguing. This was about the emotional cost of uprooting your life for someone who might not be who they said they were. The groom had already sacrificed everything. He left his job, his apartment, his friends. He moved into her tiny town where everyone already thought he was using her for a green card. Every episode, TLC framed him as the questionable one. The foreign fiancé with the suspicious timeline. The one who might be hiding something. But here's the part TLC cameras didn't show. Weeks before the wedding, Reddit detectives started noticing inconsistencies. Old Instagram photos that didn't match the timeline. A deleted comment from an ex. A Venmo transaction that fans swear was labeled rent to someone who definitely wasn't his fiancé. And on the morning of the wedding, that's when it exploded. According to a now archived thread on the 90-day fiancé subreddit, a guest at the venue claimed there was a loud argument in the bridal suite before hair and makeup were even finished. The bride allegedly confronted him about messages she found the night before. Messages that weren't just flirty, they were intimate, emotional, the kind of messages you don't send if you're about to say, "I do." Production, of course, kept filming. This is where things get uncomfortable. Because the K1 visa process doesn't care about your feelings. It's a 90-day countdown. You either marry, or someone packs their bags and flies home. There's no pause button for betrayal. So when she stood at the altar, staring at him like she was looking at a stranger, that wasn't just about trust. That was about immigration status. That was about financial dependence. That was about realizing that walking away might mean deportation. And 2 minutes into that ceremony, you could feel the entire room holding its breath. Before we go deeper, if you're the kind of viewer who reads between TLC's edits, who catches the subtle eye rolls and the off-camera tension, you're exactly who this channel is for. Subscribe and stay close, because the real 90-day story is always bigger than what airs on Sunday night. Now back to that altar. When the officiant asked if anyone objected, nobody spoke. But her silence was louder than any objection. She didn't cry. She didn't smile. She looked calculating. And fans on Twitter, sorry, X, picked up on it instantly. Within minutes of the episode airing, the hashtag with the names was trending. Half the comments said she was finally seeing the truth. The other half accused her of humiliating him for a storyline. But listen to this. A former classmate of hers posted a TikTok claiming she had doubts long before filming started. According to that source, she confided that she felt pressured by production to keep things moving because the season needed a wedding payoff. That's unverified, sure, but it lines up with the way the episode was edited. The dramatic music, the zoom-ins, the constant cutaways to her bridesmaids looking concerned. This wasn't just a wedding. It was a ratings moment. Meanwhile, he stood there trying to hold it together. You could see the panic flicker across his face. Because if she said no, everything collapsed. His legal status, his future plans, the apartment lease they'd just signed, the car loan in her name, all of it. And here's the twist no one expected. When she finally spoke, she didn't accuse him of cheating. She didn't mention the messages. She said she needed reassurance. That's it. Reassurance. On her wedding day. I know what you're thinking. Why wait until the altar? Why not call it off the night before? That's exactly what fans were screaming online. But think about the psychology here. After months of defending him to your family, fighting off accusations of being naive, and investing tens of thousands into a wedding, sometimes the altar is the first moment reality crashes in. This is where the 90-day dream quietly fell apart. Because he responded with frustration, not comfort. Instead of saying, "I choose you," he said, "We've talked about this already." His tone shifted, defensive, sharp, and the body language experts on YouTube, they went wild. One even pointed out how he avoided direct eye contact during the vows. And then came the moment TLC teased in every preview: she stepped back. Not dramatically, not running, just one small step, but emotionally, it felt like a mile. Guests whispered. Her mom shook her head. His best man stared at the floor. The officiant awkwardly asked if they wanted a private moment. Production cut to commercial. When we came back, they were outside the venue, still mic'd, still arguing. And this is where the editing got interesting. We only saw fragments. Her saying, "You promised me." Him replying, "It's not what you think." Classic reality TV ambiguity. But here's the leaked detail that changes everything. A fan who attended the wedding later commented on Instagram that the argument wasn't just about texts. It was about money. Allegedly, she discovered he had sent a significant amount back home without telling her. Not a small gift, something substantial. Enough to impact their shared finances. Now, sending money to family isn't unusual in international relationships. It's common, cultural, expected in many cases. But secrecy, that's different. Suddenly, the narrative shifts. Is he a scammer, or is he a son trying to support his family while navigating a new country? The subreddit was divided. Some called her selfish for not understanding his obligations. Others said transparency is non-negotiable in marriage. And through it all, the K1 visa clock kept ticking. Eventually, they returned to the altar. Eyes red, makeup smudged, the room tense, and they said the vows. Yes, they got married. But the energy was different. No cheering, no triumphant music, just a quiet, almost uncomfortable applause. It felt less like a celebration and more like a decision made under pressure. This is the part that lingers with me. Marriage on 90 Day Fiancé isn't just romance. It's paperwork. It's interviews with immigration officers. It's proving your love to a government agency while trying to convince your own family you didn't make a mistake. After the episode aired, her Instagram comments were flooded. Blink twice if you need help. Annulment coming soon. You deserve better. Meanwhile, his DMs were reportedly filled with accusations and, disturbingly, xenophobic insults. The real-world impact of reality TV is brutal. And then came the post that set everything on fire. 3 days after the wedding episode aired, she posted a cryptic quote to her story: "Sometimes the biggest red flags look like love." No caption. Just that. Fans screenshotted it instantly. He, on the other hand, posted a smiling wedding photo with a heart emoji and disabled comments. So what's the truth? Are they working through it privately? Are they already separated but contractually obligated to stay quiet? Remember, couples often can't reveal their relationship status until the tell-all. And if you've watched enough seasons, you know the tell-all is where the real tea spills. But here's what keeps me up. That moment at the altar wasn't just about messages or money. It was about trust eroding under the weight of a 90-day deadline. It was about two people realizing love might not be enough when immigration law is looming over your head. We've seen couples beat the odds. We've also seen marriages implode before the ink on the certificate dried. And right now, this one feels like it's balancing on a knife's edge. Because when you rewatch that scene, really watch it, you notice something subtle. After the vows, when the officiant pronounced them married, he kissed her. She didn't lean in, she accepted it. There's a difference. Maybe they'll prove everyone wrong. Maybe this will be the messy beginning of a strong marriage built on hard conversations and cultural compromise. Or maybe this was just the first public crack in something that was already broken. The 90-Day franchise has always sold us the fantasy: love knows no borders. But nights like this remind us that love absolutely knows deadlines, bank accounts, and inboxes full of secrets. So here's the question I can't shake, and I want you to be honest in the comments. Was this a bride bravely confronting red flags at the last possible second, or was this a couple so trapped by the K1 visa pressure that they said, I do, even when their instincts were screaming, don't? Because if that small step back at the altar meant what I think it meant, we might have just watched the beginning of the next 90-day divorce story unfolding in real time.